Have you ever stopped and thought, why am I not truly happy, even though I have everything I ever wanted? Have you ever wondered if everything society tells us about success and fulfillment is a lie? What if, in our relentless pursuit of wealth and status, we've missed the key to true happiness? This was the realization Leo Tolstoy came to after decades of living a life of privilege and fame. In his later years, Tolstoy shocked the world by saying that everything he had accomplished, his wealth, status, and power, was meaningless. What does this mean for us today, in a world that is consumed by consumerism, achievement, and outward success? Let's dive into why Tolstoy believed that modern man is deeply unhappy despite living in an era of material abundance. Stick with me till the end, because what you're about to learn might completely change how you view happiness. Tolstoy's life crisis and search for meaning. Leo Tolstoy's life, on the surface, seemed like a success story. He was a renowned author, respected by society, and living a life of luxury. But as Tolstoy grew older, something changed. He began to experience a profound sense of emptiness, despite having everything that most people could dream of. In his mid-50s, he underwent what could be described as a spiritual and philosophical crisis. This was the moment when Tolstoy began to question his entire existence. He realized that the pursuit of fame, wealth, and power had not brought him the happiness he had expected. The realization was jarring for Tolstoy. Despite all his material wealth, he had no peace of mind. He felt disconnected from the deeper meanings of life, and this realization left him feeling hollow. Tolstoy began to ask himself the big questions. What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of happiness? What is the value of a life lived for material success? This profound crisis led Tolstoy to abandon his aristocratic lifestyle and search for something deeper, something more fulfilling. He wanted to understand why, despite his material success, he felt unfulfilled. It was through this journey that Tolstoy began to formulate his views on the emptiness of modern life, a philosophy that would resonate for generations. Tolstoy's crisis is a mirror for many of us today. Even with all the material possessions, fame, and achievements we accumulate, do we really feel at peace? Tolstoy's search for meaning shows us that perhaps the things we chase don't lead to happiness at all. The pursuit of external validation might not be the path to true contentment, the disconnection from spiritual values. For Tolstoy, the root of modern man's unhappiness was a disconnection from spiritual values. He saw how society had become obsessed with materialism, and he believed this obsession was the primary cause of the emptiness that people felt. Tolstoy's critique of his own society, particularly the Russian aristocracy, was sharp and profound. He viewed the aristocrats' lifestyle as one that lacked meaning and depth. Their lives were filled with luxury and indulgence, but they were spiritually barren. In Tolstoy's view, society had strayed far from the values that truly matter: love, compassion, and spiritual fulfillment. Tolstoy argued that in the pursuit of wealth and status, people had abandoned the simple joys and peace that come from living a life aligned with spiritual values. He believed that when we focus solely on material success, we ignore the deeper spiritual aspects of life that bring true happiness. In his later years, Tolstoy found solace in living a simpler life, focusing on his family, his faith, and his inner peace rather than his social status or wealth. This disconnection from spiritual values is still prevalent today. In our modern world, We are constantly bombarded with messages that equate happiness with possessions, success, and outward achievements. We are told that if we have more money, more followers, or a bigger house, we'll be happy. But Tolstoy's life and work challenge this idea. He argued that true fulfillment doesn't come from the external world, but from within. Happiness, for Tolstoy, came from living a life of moral integrity, spiritual growth, and love. Materialism and the search for meaning. In Tolstoy's view, materialism is the root of modern man's suffering. Despite having access to more material wealth and resources than ever before, modern society continues to struggle with deep feelings of discontent and unhappiness. Tolstoy argued that our obsession with material goods leads us to miss the things that truly matter in life: love, connection, and personal growth. According to Tolstoy, the more we accumulate, the emptier we feel. His personal experience reflected this belief. Tolstoy had achieved everything that society tells us we need to be happy. He was a famous author, a member of the aristocracy, and a man of great wealth. But when he looked at his life, he saw that these external achievements had not led to inner peace. The pursuit of more possessions and more recognition only left him feeling emptier and more disconnected from the things that truly mattered. For Tolstoy, the real question was not how much wealth one could amass, but how one could live a meaningful and fulfilling life. The emptiness that many people experience today, even in the midst of material abundance, is exactly what Tolstoy warned about. Tolstoy's thoughts on materialism are as relevant today as they were in his time. We live in a world where consumption is king, and where the acquisition of wealth is often equated with success and happiness. But as Tolstoy showed, the pursuit of material goods is an empty endeavor if it's not paired with a deeper sense of meaning and connection. The role of society in modern unhappiness. In addition to his criticism of materialism, Tolstoy also took aim at the societal structures that perpetuate feelings of unhappiness. He believed that modern society, with its emphasis on competition, status, and external validation, led to a constant sense of inadequacy and restlessness. People were always striving to keep up with their peers, chasing after things that didn't provide true satisfaction. Tolstoy recognized the harmful effects of societal expectations, which placed value on things like wealth, status, and power, rather than inner fulfillment or moral integrity. Tolstoy was critical of how society shaped people's priorities. He saw that people were conditioned to value things that were ultimately hollow. In his writings, he spoke of how people were driven to pursue wealth and recognition at the expense of their personal happiness and moral values. This constant race for success, driven by societal pressures, was, in Tolstoy's view, the primary reason modern man felt so disconnected from their true selves. Today, we still see these societal pressures. People are often judged by their material success or their ability to achieve certain milestones, like owning a house, getting a promotion, or having a large following on social media. These external markers of success, Tolstoy argued, obscure the true meaning of life. They prevent individuals from focusing on what truly matters: personal integrity, spiritual growth, and meaningful relationships. Finding true happiness through inner peace and simplicity. Tolstoy found his own answer to the question of happiness. After abandoning his material wealth and social status, he embraced a life of simplicity and spiritual growth. He focused on the things that truly brought him peace: his family, his faith, and his ability to help others. In his later works, Tolstoy emphasized that the key to true happiness is living a life of moral integrity, humility, and love. He rejected the notion that happiness could be found in external achievements, and instead, he placed his faith in the importance of living a life of authenticity and service to others. Tolstoy's teachings suggest that the road to happiness is through simplicity. In rejecting the pursuit of material wealth and status, he found inner peace. He believed that by focusing on spiritual practices, living a modest life, and nurturing genuine relationships, people could find true contentment. For Tolstoy, happiness was not about acquiring more, but about learning to live with less and embracing the things that truly matter. Tolstoy's emphasis on inner peace and simplicity is a stark contrast to today's society, where we are taught to constantly strive for more money, more followers, more success. Tolstoy's life offers an antidote to this modern malaise. By following his teachings and seeking fulfillment in the inner life, we can begin to experience true happiness. Modern relevance of Tolstoy's philosophy. Tolstoy's philosophy holds immense relevance in today's world. We live in an age of unprecedented material wealth, yet feelings of loneliness, anxiety, and discontent are at an all-time high. People are constantly striving for more, but are often left feeling unfulfilled. Tolstoy's warnings about the dangers of materialism and societal pressures are just as relevant now as they were in the 19th century. In today's world, we are surrounded by distractions that pull us away from what truly matters. Tolstoy's philosophy reminds us that happiness isn't something to be found in the external world, but something that must come from within. It's not about what we own or how much we achieve, but about how we live and what we value. By embracing Tolstoy's teachings on simplicity, humility, and spiritual growth, we can begin to break free from the emptiness that modern life often imposes. His wisdom offers a path to true happiness that comes not from external success, but from living a life of authenticity, integrity, and love. Tolstoy's exploration of happiness, materialism, and spiritual fulfillment gives us valuable insight into why modern are unhappy.